Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Theo Hart, and we're going to talk a little bit about schema. As you know, schema is a pattern of thoughts or behavior that organizes information or a vocabulary for structuring data on the web. All right. In the rapid growing platform of online education, designing effective learning support system requires deep understanding of how adults process and internalize information. Three irrelated theoretical platforms, Schema Theory from cognitive processing theory and distributed cognition, offers insight that shapes the analyst's design development, implementation, and evaluation, known as ADDIE, of online learning system. Applying these theories ensures educational technologies cater specifically to adult learners' cognitive capacities and social contexts, thereby enhancing learning outcomes. Now, let's talk a little bit about schema theory, a component of cognitive processing theory. Posits that knowledge is organized into mental structures or schemas that help individuals interpret new information based on prior experience. These cognitive platforms enables efficient comprehension and retrieval by online course on agile methodologies because their pre-existing schemas allow them to contextualize new information. However, or consequently, online learning systems designed by schema theory in mind often incorporate pre-assessment, quizzes, or advanced organizers that activate relevant schemas before introducing new contexts. Now, cognitive processing theory extends this by emphasizing how information is attended to, encoded into working memory, and consolidated into long-term memory. Limitations of working memory capacity necessitates that online learning platforms structure content in manageable chunks and provide multimedia support to reduce cognitive overload. Let's think about it. An example, educational setting like Hayward Career Center uses short video tutorials paired with practice exercises, which is hands-on, to scaffold learning. Respecting adult learners' cognitive processing limitations, interactive elements such as quizzes and reflection prompts support deeper encoding by encouraging active engagement with the material. Now, from the psychology standpoint, let's think about cognitive schema. Schema represents, self-schema represents knowledge about oneself, meaning like myself, including my beliefs, values, and self-perception. Now, as I go a little deeper, we're going to talk about how schema applies to my job. And my job is security officer for a middle school. So let's talk about how schema applies to my working profession. Now, as a security officer, schema can be developed based on students' behavior or emergency protocols or the school layout. These schemas enable quick recognition of unusual or threatening situations, such as detecting a potential fight or recognizing an unauthorized individual on campus. Let's think. An example: an officer's mental schema about lunchtime behavior can quickly alert them if something deviates from expected patterns, which is something that may happen consistently, or just may occur out of the norm. As far as the theory of distributed cognition and online learning, This suggests that cognitive processes are shared amongst individual tools and environments rather than confined within an individual's mind. Let's just think about in schools for effective online learning. Learning is not just what happens in a student's mind, but also involves collaboration with teachers, peers, and digital tools, you know, like online discussion boards. For instance, like what we do here. Those are just, that's a primary example of online learning. Technology, educational apps, virtual classroom, acts as an extension of cognition by distributing the cognitive load. Teachers and students co-construct knowledge in distributed environment, which facilitates deeper understanding and retention. As we conclude and wrap up the process of schema, let's just think about ways we can encourage adults, to ability to connect new information and tasks to familiar schemas reduces anxiety and cognitive overload. Access shared. Cognitive resources, such as technology, colleagues help adults overcome gaps in knowledge or skills. And just remember, when we talk about schema, think about the pattern of thoughts or behavior that organizes information or a vocabulary for structuring data on the web. This concludes my presentation on schema. I hope it was helpful and everybody enjoy and have a good night. Thanks again, Dr. Washington, for all that you do.